Right guys, so very first GCSE past paper walkthrough, okay? I'm going to go through the whole paper from start to finish. The best way to use this, okay? Lots of you who are in my school will recognise this as the paper you just did as a mock. Okay, so the one from May last year, it's the same as the mock you just did, so hopefully it'll be fresh in your mind and you'll find it really useful. Okay, so the best way to use this resource. Okay, get a paper in front of you, a blank version of this ideally. If it's not a blank version, get your mock in front of you. You should be able to get a blank version off your teacher, off the WJ website, or off me. If you come and see me, I'll give you a blank version as well. Go to question 1. Now go to question 1, pause the video and do it yourself. Okay, do it yourself, give it your best effort. And then once you've done that, take a different colour pen, play the video, and then either mark your work correct, or if it's wrong, fill in any of the steps you got wrong. Okay, and try and understand where you've gone wrong by what I say. Okay, that's the best way to do this, and do that every single question all the way through. So you do it yourself, and then listen to me. Do it yourself, listen to me. Best way to improve. Okay, one of the best ways that you can improve. Now, obviously, don't do a whole paper because that would be quite a long activity. I'd say do 10 or 11 questions, then take a break, and then come back and do the rest. Okay, and that'll be your revision done probably for the day. Okay, so that's quite a high quality revision session. So, question 1, I got 3874 plus 6 and 649. So just a bit of adding. Okay, so I got 3874 add 649. Okay, 4 plus 9 is 13. 7 plus 4 plus 1 is 12. 8 plus 6 plus 1 is 5, is 15, and 3 plus 1 is 4, so 4, 5, 2, 3 for the first one. Make sure you line your units up with your units, tens up with your tens, and hundreds up with your hundreds. The only way people make mistakes is by not doing that. Also, make sure you're doing stuff and working it out properly. Don't try and just do stuff in your head. Lots of mine got that wrong just by trying to do it in their head. Next one, I got a bit of taking away. 700 take away 532. Can't do 0 take away 2, so I've got to borrow all the way from the 7. I'm going to turn the 7 into a 6, turn that into a 10, turn that 10 into a 9, turn that into a 10. 10 take away 2 is 8, 9 take away 3 is 6, and 6 take away 5 is 1. So 1, 6, 8. Next one, write down all the factors of 27. Now factors are an easy one. Okay, it's just all the numbers that go into 27 without leaving a remainder. The way I like to think of it of all the ways I can times together using whole numbers to make 27. Now the easiest one is 1 times 27. I know 1 times 27 gives me 27. The only other one I can think of at the moment is 3 times 9. Those are the ways that I can think of. There aren't any more, I don't think. So all my factors are just listed by here. I've got 1, 3, 9, 27. It works with all numbers, okay? So just think of the ways you can times together to make that number. That's question 1 done. 4 marks should be in the bank. Okay, QWC question is quite a nice one. Okay, in this part of the question, you'll be assessed on your quality of linguistic and mathematical accuracy in writing. Okay, so they'll always give you one like this. I've got a shape, be drawn a square grid. Each square represents an area of 5 centimeters squared. Estimate the total area of the shape. You must show all your work in. Okay, so the way I think of it, count your whole squares. So count your whole squares. And count your half squares. Okay, if I just start with my whole squares first. Whole squares, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 24, 25. Okay, so from what I can see, I've got 25 whole squares. Okay, half squares. Okay, half squares are just these little bitty ones by here. Okay, they don't have to be completely perfectly half, just the ones that are part squares. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. 28, I've got 28 half squares. That would mean 28 half squares would be 14 whole squares. Okay, 25 whole squares plus the 14 whole squares, so 25 plus 14 gives me 39 squares altogether. Now the mark scheme says you're correct if you've got anywhere between 32 and 42 squares counted. Okay, so this would be correct, it would fall somewhere around there. So there's a big margin for error. The question actually says though, if each square represents 5 centimeters squared, estimate the total area of the shape. So total area equals 39 times by 5. 40 times by 5 is 200. If I take away 5 singles, I'll get 195 centimeters squared. Okay, again, the mark scheme says anywhere between 160 and 210 for that is acceptable. Okay, so mark what you've done. You get an extra 1 if you label stuff as you're going through. Okay, again, very straightforward question. It's just lots of counting. Draw a reflection of this shape. Okay, same part of the question, still same part of the same one. Draw a reflection of the shape in the line PQ. PQ is straight down the middle. Now all this is just drawing a symmetrical shape and filling it in. Most of us should be able to do this simply based on just being able to see where it's going. But I can see this line by here is 1 square down on this side. So I know it's going to be 1 square down on this side. I'm just going to join it up freehand. Okay, you can use a ruler if you got one. I'm just going to join it up freehand. Okay, if you've got a ruler, that's great. If not, it's not the end of the world, okay? Next one, this one by here, it goes down 2 and across 3. So I know it goes down 2 and across 3, so I'm going to join that up as well. Okay, this one by here now is going away in that direction. So this one's going to go by here away in that direction. And then I'm just going to join my last 2 points up. Now hopefully you'll do a little bit better than I did. Obviously I made a little mistake up there. Again, it's not the end of the world. Jack has a box of 100 cards. Okay, we're on question 3 now. So if you're on question 3 and you want to pause the video, now would be the time. He has a box of 100 cards. 50 of the cards are blue. Jack chooses a card at random from his box of cards. 50 are blue and there's 100 cards altogether. So I know that's about half. Describe the chance Jack chooses a blue card. Well, if 50 of them are blue and that's half, it's going to be an even chance of him picking a blue card. Mayor has a different box of 100 cards. Now, all of the cards are red or yellow. This is going to be a trick one, I think. Mayor chooses a card at random from her box of cards. Describe the chance Mayor chooses a green card. Well, if all the cards are red or yellow, it would be impossible for her to choose a green card because they're all red or yellow. Okay, so that wouldn't be impossible. Next page. So, first 3 questions done. I don't think there was anything particularly challenging in those first 3. Next one, so bit of circle knowledge. Draw a tangent to this circle, always the centre of the circle. Now, for those that don't know, it's probably worth learning the parts of your shape. Tangent is the one, you can draw it anywhere on the circle that is a straight line that touches the edge. That's a tangent. Okay, underneath, I've got a radius. Now, a radius of the circle is going from the centre to the edge of the circle, and it can be going in any direction. Probably worth using a ruler on this one. Okay, an easy 2 marks. Question 5. Write 481.627 correct at 2 decimal places. So I'm going to rewrite this number. I've got 481.627. Now, if I want to go to 2 decimal places, I count across my decimal point, 1, 2, and I put something in called the magic line. Now, I always look to the right of my magic line. Whatever happens, you're going to chop it off, but the thing is, this number may need to go up or it may need to stay the same. If this number by here is 5 or more, this number goes up by 1. If this number by here is 4 or less, we just chop it off and this number just stays as it is. This number by here is 5 or more, so to 2 decimal places, I'm going to chop this off, and this number is going to go up to a 3. So I'll end up with 481.63. Underneath, write down the value of 8 squared. 8 squared means times by itself. Okay, so squared means times by itself. So 8 squared would be 8 times 8. 8 times 8, 8 times table. You can write them down the side of your page if you're not sure. 8 times 8, I know is 64. Underneath, square root of 49. Now, the square root is the opposite of squared. So we've got to work out what number times by itself gives us an answer of 49. Okay, I know, because I've obviously teach maths, but take your time with it. Maybe just write them down underneath if you need to. Write down your square numbers. Square root of 14, I know 7 times 7 is 49. So I could have 7. If you were thinking outside the box, okay, you can also have minus 7 as an answer for that as well. So either 7 would be correct or minus 7 if you were thinking like that. Part D, 38.25 divided by 1,000. Okay, so what's going to happen here? 38.25. If I'm dividing by 1,000, this decimal point is going to move over 1, 2, 3 spaces to here. And I'm going to have to have zeros in there. So my answer is going to look like 0.03825. Okay, so that's question 5 then now. Another 4 marks. Okay, we're doing really well. Question 6, quite a big one, but it's quite a nice question, okay? Pie chart shows the favourite sport of 60 people. Which is the modal sport? As soon as you see a word you don't know, write down what it means. Modal means most, so the most common. Okay, which is the modal sport? The most common sport in this is football, so I'm going to write down football. Okay, one person is chosen at random. Okay, what's the probability this person said swimming is their favourite sport? Okay, probability is either a fraction, a decimal, or percentage. Now, whatever happens, it's going to be out of 60 people. That's our total. That's important. There's going to be out of 60 people. What's the probability that the person said swimming was their favourite sport? Well, swimming takes up a quarter. Now, I know a quarter of 60 is 15. So I could have either said 15 out of 60, or if I want to simplify, you can say a quarter. Okay? How many people said tennis was their favourite sport? So, if you look back at the thing, tennis, okay, tennis takes up a quarter again. How many people? They're not after a probability this time, they're just after people. So, if this takes up a quarter of 60, we already worked out a second ago, a quarter of 60 is 15 people. Okay, very, very straightforward marks. Okay, please don't get these wrong. On part D now, draw a bar chart. Okay, lovely. I really like bar charts. They're very easy marks. Okay, they'll always come up in the first half of foundation. Okay, so first thing I need to do with a bar chart is label my axes. Okay, I need to label the ones I'd be given. Okay, so horizontal, the ones that are on the bottom. We're talking about sports, so I'm going to put sports on the bottom. The different types of sport. And then going up the top, I'm going to put number of people. Okay, now you decide what your axis goes up in. I usually go up in tens. Okay, it's a nice straightforward number to go up in. Again, the most number of people we've got to work with is 30. 30 people do football. So 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. I'm going to stop there because I don't need to go any higher, because 30 is going to be our biggest number. And then on the bottom, we need to write down the sports. Okay, so I got football. I've got swimming. And I've got tennis. Now the only place people trip up on this, you've got to leave gaps between your bars, okay? These are discrete measurements, so they can't overlap, so they can't touch, because you've got to leave gaps. Now I know football, 30 people did football, so I'm going to be going up to here. Swimming. Okay, so I've made a mistake as I go through. Now, if you make mistakes, that's fine. Obviously, you're going to do it in pencil anyway. So I've made a mistake, so I'm going to make my bars a little bit thinner. Okay, I made a mistake. So I'm going to do football. Goes up to 30. Swimming is going to go by here. And that one's going to go up to 15. And then tennis, that one goes up to 15 as well. Okay, so I made a mistake, but it doesn't matter. Just make sure it's a good lesson in using a pencil and a ruler, okay? I probably should have, didn't, but it's not the end of the world, okay? I've scribbled it out. It's still going to be the same thing. Is that okay? Right then, so coming towards the end of the just foundation stuff now. So we're coming towards the middle of the paper, the staples and the foundation. I don't think you should make any mistakes up to this point. Okay, this is another QWC question. Okay, so that means when you're doing stuff, you need to label what you're doing. Okay, it's a very straightforward question. So how many small rectangles will fit exactly into the large rectangle? The small rectangles must not overlap and there must be no space left. You must show all your work in. So, the way to do this, if I work at the area of the little one and work at the area of the big one, and then divide them, I should be able to see how many of this fit into that. So area, so I'm going to label stuff as I go. Area, small, rectangle, equals length times width. 4 times 2 gives me an area of 8 centimeters squared. Okay, I'm going to draw a line down the middle of my page. Area big rectangle. Again is length times width. 20 times 6. 20 times 6. You can take your time doing this. You might think I'm going a little bit quick, but again, take as long as you need. I'm just popping through it. Okay, 20 times 6 gives me 120 centimeters squared. Now, the question asks how many of them fit into that. I want to know, so I'm going to divide 120 divided by 8. 8 doesn't go into 1. Carry the 1 over. 8 goes into 12 once, remainder 4. 8 goes into 40 5 times. Okay? So it fits in exactly 15 times. Okay? Now, I've gone a little bit quick there, but take your time with your dividing and take your time with your times in. Okay? That's the only place you could go wrong. Question 8, okay, really nice question this is, okay, so easy solving equations, this is solving equations as well, and some straightforward simplifying. Okay, you can think of these like whatever you like. I like to put a word in instead of the letter, so 8 pineapples, take away 12 pineapples, add on 9 pineapples. 8 take away 12 is minus 4, add on 9 is positive 5, so 5 pineapples. Solve the following equations. Okay, the way I like to write these in my class, I like to replace this. So instead of writing 6x, I'm writing 6 times something equals 48. Okay, now you can write in your times tables down the side if you want, but I know my 6 times tables really well. 6 times 8 makes 48, so that means x has to be 8. Underneath, same thing. Okay, I'm going to replace the letter with a gap. 32 take away something is 17. Okay, I know 30, if I count down my fingers, 31, 30, 29, all the way down. 32 take away 15 makes 17. So I know y equals 15. Very straightforward, okay? Part C, Tom thinks of a number. He multiplies the number by 4. The answer is 76. What number did Tom think of? So if we're going backwards, we're undoing Tom's working. Tom thinks of a number, he times it by 4. The answer is 76. What number did Tom think of? We're going to have to divide 76 by 4. 4 goes into 7 once, remainder 3. 4 goes into 36 9 times. So number equals 19. Okay, so that's the end of just the foundation stuff now. So what I'm going to do, I will go through the rest of the paper in the intermediate video, okay? So if you forgot to hear and you're wondering what's going to happen next, I'm going to go through the rest of it in the intermediate one. Again, if you've enjoyed this, please share it with your friends. If you have been doing the foundation one, maybe worth taking a break now. And please, please, please share this with other people that you know. Tag me your answers at CrossMaths on Instagram.